What's going on, fellas? Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys checking out this video on my new fantasy sports YouTube channel. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit this video with a like, comment down below. Let's jump into it. This video, we're going to take a look at the top stacks of week number 1 for the main slate. I've written down a bunch here that I do like. I'll dive in. I'll get in a little in-depth on what I'm seeing, what I'm liking. There's a couple games we're just going to avoid completely. A couple games like we want to stack the bringbacks, right? So maybe we want to run a quarterback out there naked, and then we run, have some bringbacks. So I'll talk about all that. We'll kind of go game by game here, what I'm seeing. First game, I'm not stacking. Raiders, Patriots, I think there's some kind of standalone plays that are okay, but stacking-wise, I have no interest. So let's go over to Carolina, Jacksonville. I expect good weather down there in Florida. I think this game has sneaky shootout upside potential. We'll start with the Carolina Panthers side. To me, I'm probably just going to run a single stack if I were to play the Panthers. They're at the bottom of my list for stacks, but I do think they have some viability here. I think Bryce Young, Ted McMillan, that's the stack. Easy, right? You get 5,700 quarterback, you get a $5,200 receiver. Cheap, and now we can fit studs in everywhere, maybe throw in one more value, get a cheap defense, and you have studs across the board here, with this cheap single stack between Bryce Young and Ted McMillan. I probably want to run it back with my man, Brian Thomas Jr. as well, because I'm going to get to him in a second, and then from there, we sub in a cheap defense, something like the Seahawks I kind of like this week, and then, maybe we punt our tight end, we go with someone like Dalton Schultz, and now we have 6,500 across the board here to work with. And if you checked out my values video, you know that there's a bunch of price tags that we can go to in that area. Kenneth Walker, Chase Brown, we can really build a nice lineup with this Ted McMillan, Bryce Young single stack. So that's where I start with that one. Then we go to the Jacksonville side. I think this has some single stack, of course. T-Law, he's cheaper than Bryce Young, which I prefer T-Law a little bit. Brian Thomas Jr. I also don't mind throwing in Travis Etienne here. I've seen a report come out that they're going to use him all over the field. They might do the same with Tootin. I think Etienne starts the season off that way. They're going to utilize him as a third down back. He's going to catch the ball a bunch. So that's a quick, easy double stack right there. Now, of course, if you're a Travis Hunter truther out there, you can throw in Travis Hunter instead. I probably wouldn't go 3 pass catchers. I'd probably just go 2. But look at that. A clean double stack here with the Jags. Really, really affordable. We can throw in a couple of values. Like I said, a cheap defense. Now we can put some studs in there as well. So that's one way to look at it. I think you could throw in Brenton Strange if you wanted to. You could throw in De'Ami Brown, but I think Brian Thomas is the guy you have to have in this Jacksonville stacks. No doubt about it. And if you're playing the Carolina side, I'd bring it back with Brian Thomas as well. Arizona, I do like it. The Kyler, Marvin Harrison, Trey McBride double here. That's the only way I would go with this. You could probably go single stack to Kyler to McBride, Kyler to Harrison. That's fine. The issue I'm having is I don't love the bringbacks on the Saints. I think you could do Kamara. You could do Olave and Shaheed, but it's like I don't see huge upside there with Spencer Rattler, a quarterback. So it's possible. I'm probably keeping it 1 bringback here with the Saints, not more than 1. If I am going to run that Cardinals double stack here, which I do like, I just don't know if the Saints have enough to push the Cardinals to really reach their upside, right? Like, can the Saints score 20, 30 points? I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe they got, an offensive coach there in Kellen Moore, but I don't see it happening in week 1. So I'm a little bit hesitant on the Cardinal stack, although I do think it's viable. Now we go to one of my favorite games on the entire slate. Bengals at Browns here. First of all, if you don't play a Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase stack, then you are a crazy man. You have to do that. The thing that I love about it is the Cleveland side is so cheap. So I can get my tight end in Njoku. Then I can maybe take my pick here, Judy or Tillman. We can even just go with Judy. Once again, we sub in, a cheap D. We'll go with the Seahawks. So let's see if we have another one we like for cheap here. Let's see. Anything under the Seahawks we like? Not really. So let's just rock with the Seahawks for now, just to get that price tag in there. There's probably a couple we can look at, but then we, maybe get one more value because we have 2 nice receivers there. We can get another value receiver. Maybe, someone like, to be honest, you could really, we got Njoku. We don't want to triple bring it back. We could go cheap running back. Nice value play this week. Jalen Warren, 5,700. So now we're already building a nice lineup right here for you guys, right? Maybe one more value in there, and then you're good to go, right? So you get that Burrow, single stack with Chase. You could obviously go Burrow double with Higgins. It gets a little bit expensive, so it can be a little bit tough. But what I like to do here is I prefer to go with the Flacco double. So give me Njoku, and then you take your pick of Judy or Tillman. We'll go Judy, and then you got to run it back with Jamar Chase. And look at this. Nice salaries across the board. You got the Flacco double, which I think he can get there, and you got Jamar Chase to bring it back. I don't even mind throwing in Chase Brown as well. He's a great value at running back. And look at this. With this we can fit easily with this Joe Flacco double. So that's what I'm going to be going a lot in my builds this week. This is a quick timeout to let you guys know that I've been a pro DFS player for over 5 years and have over $100,000 in career winnings. And now I'm giving away all my secrets, which you can check out at patreon.com/tdavisbrand. The link is also in the description below. It's going to give you a cheat sheet for every major slate of the NFL season. So Thursday Night Football, Sunday main slate, Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, all the major slates, whether it be Showdown or the regular classic slates, you'll have access to my cheat sheet, as well as access to my private Discord where you can ask me anything fantasy football related. And I also have a NFL DFS ebook, How to Win at Daily Fantasy Football. It goes over every strategy you would want to win some cold hard cash this upcoming NFL season. We talk about things like bankroll management, contest selection, how to win GPPs, cash games, etc. So you can check that out at my Patreon shop as well. Miami Colts. The price tags on the Dolphins is amazing. So Tua, Hill and Waddle, a nice clean double. It's really affordable as well. If you don't want to go Waddle, you can easily go with Achane. I think that's viable as well. That's another stack that I'm going to be looking at to go to heavy here. As far as bringbacks for the Colts, it's a little bit tough. You know, there's options, though. I mean, we got JT there. You got Pittman and Downs, and you got Tyler Warren. So I'd probably go with a single bringback, but it's relatively affordable. If you go, maybe, you go Tyler Warren, you can still even bring it back with a Josh Downs as well. It's really, really affordable to stack this game. So like this, that's what I'm saying. The pricing on this early week is really, really easy to do. You can obviously, we're going to do this on Fanduel as well. Similar price tags across the board for the most part, as you saw in my values video. So, yeah, this is a really affordable game stack. I don't hate going with the Danny Dimes single or double. You can throw in Tyler Warren, and maybe you can choose between Pittman and Downs. It's definitely affordable. Then you can run it back with all the Dolphins, Tyreek and Achane, and it's affordable again here as well. So this is a nice game stack as well that's very affordable. I think has major upside here. Let's keep it moving here. Let's go to the Giants and Washington. Is there much I like in this game? I think for me, for the most part, at Washington, I'd do the Jaden Daniels, Terry McLaurin. I think Debo's a little bit more interesting on FanDuel. But as far as, I think that's a single I'd go. You could throw Zach Ertz in there as well and then run it back with Malik Neighbors or Tyrone Tracy. Those would be the two guys that I'd run it back with. It's affordable. It's fine. I'm probably not going to stack Russell Wilson in week 1 for the Giants side. I have no interest in the Steelers-Jets game. Tampa, Atlanta, I think is going to be very popular, but it's very interesting because it's affordable, again, is here as well. Like I said, the pricing this week is nice. You get Baker Mayfield, you get Mike Evans, and we'll throw Emeka Ibuka in there as well. We run it back with Drake London and Bijan. And look at this. Pricing gets a little bit tougher because of Bijan, but it's still doable. Now we just got to get values across the board, right? We got to get a cheap tight end, a cheap defense, maybe one more cheap flex or running back, and then you could probably get like a 5 to 6K guy at the flex. So this is doable. It's a little bit tougher to manage than the other ones we talked about, but it's going to be very popular, so you might want to find some different ways to get different here. Whether that be Cade Otton if he plays, whether that be Kyle Pitts for the Falcons, whether that be a Darnell Mooney. In large field tournaments, I think Darnell Mooney's interesting with Michael Penix as a stack partner. On Tampa, I'm probably sticking with Evans and Ibuka. We don't know if Godwin's going to play. If Godwin is out, Sterling Shepard, you could throw in there some darts at him in large field stuff. He's really, really cheap and affordable. Not much interest in the Niners Seahawks. I think that's going to be a low-scoring game. Not much interest in the Titans Broncos. I think that's another low-scoring game. I expect the Broncos defense to be really good this year. But the Lions Packers, another full-on game stack that I love here. The issue with this is a little bit tougher price-wise, and because with Jordan Love, it's like, who do you stack him with? Right? Like, there's just options there. Jaden Reed, Marcus Golden, Romeo Doubs, Dontavian Wicks will probably, mix and match for snaps. So, I don't know. I'd probably lean like a quick double with Reed and Doubs just for the continuity they've had. You could also throw in Tucker Kraft and, replace, that's a pretty cheap stack there we could go to. Then, of course, you run it back on the Detroit side. It gets a little bit tough with the prices here. You know, Jameson Williams obviously is nice for the price, and then you can even throw Jahmyr Gibbs in there. That's doable. This is very doable. It'd be tough if you did Gibbs and Brown. You can still probably do it, but it makes it a little bit tougher. And then of course we can obviously stack the Detroit side. I think I prefer Jordan Love, but I don't mind going with Gibbs and Amon-Ra. Of course, we can go Amon-Ra and JMO, of course, easily as well. Run it back with maybe one Packer. You could probably throw Josh Jacobs in there. You could throw Tucker Kraft if you want to get your tight end. But you can also play Sam Laporta as well. I don't hate the double tight end of Sam Laporta and Kraft. This is, you know, getting a lot here, though, so I probably want to remove one of these Lions. This is a possibility as well. I think this has great game stack potential. And what you could really do, too, is stack one of these other games, right? Say you get the Flacco cheap double. You bring it back with Chase. You fill in a couple of these Packers-Lions guys if you think this game's going to go off. And now you have 2 game stacks in your situation. Finally, the last game. I don't have much interest in it. I think the Rams stack double is doable. I don't love it, but, you know, it's okay. And then you can run it back with, you know, Nico Collins. Starting to get a little pricey, though. But it's possible. It's doable. I think it's in play. I just don't love it. You know, Dalton Schultz would be a quicker or cheaper bring back as well there. But yeah, I don't love it, but I think the Rams double is definitely in the potential outcomes here, but I expect a defensive battle between those two teams as well. So this has been the Top Stacks video. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Please subscribe to the channel for more. Hit this video with a like, and stay tuned for all our videos here on the channel. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please go ahead and give this video a like. I appreciate it so much, as well as subscribe to the channel here on YouTube so you can check out all the videos that I have to offer.